The sun hung high in the quiet suburban sky when everything changed. Neighbors who once pretended not to see now stared as an elderly widow sat crying on her own lawn, homeless on her own property. Her hands shook, her voice trembled, and the keys to the house she had lived in for 47 years lay useless in her lap because strangers had taken over her home and refused to leave. No police had helped. No neighbors dared step in. And then, the roar of motorcycles echoed down the street. Leather vests. Tattoos. Hard faces. Everyone watching assumed trouble had arrived. But what happened next stunned the entire block, backhand index pointing right. If you believe kindness, loyalty, and second chances can still change lives, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. Martha Hillman never expected her quiet life to fall apart like this. After her husband Leonard died from a sudden heart attack, grief had already swallowed her days. The house they built together was all she had left, every wall holding memories of love, laughter, and the life they made from nothing. But after returning from the hospital one afternoon, she found the front door broken and 3 young squatters living inside, partying, eating her food, and claiming she had no proof it was hers. She tried everything, lawyers, police, relatives, city council, and still ended up here, trembling on her own grass, her belongings tossed in garbage bags, while the men inside laughed, watching from the window. Across town, the Iron Arrows Motorcycle Brotherhood was preparing for a charity ride when their president, a gruff but gentle giant named Calder Bear Rockwell, received a phone call. It was from Deacon, Martha's late husband's old friend. With a broken voice, he told Bear that Leonard had always spoken proudly of the Iron Arrows, how he once repaired their bikes for free without asking anything in return. Leonard had never asked for help, but his wife needed it now. And just like that, Bear gathered the brothers, fired up their engines, and headed toward Maple Valley Street. When they arrived, neighbors peeked from curtains, whispering in fear. Martha froze when she saw them, giant men, tattooed arms, rough beards, leather vests marked with flames and iron wings. She waited for judgment, maybe anger, maybe trouble. But Bear walked toward her gently, kneeling at eye level, his voice soft as wind. He told her that Leonard once helped someone who needed it, and now it was their turn to pay the debt. Martha sobbed into her hands as the men offered comfort instead of chaos. Behind them, more bikers stood silent, arms crossed, watching the house like a fortress, without raising their voices, without picking up a weapon, without breaking a single law. They went to work. Bear knocked once, firm and calm. When the squatters refused to talk, he stayed polite. But moments later, the Iron Arrow support trucks arrived, loaded with lawyers, county officers, a housing rights advocate, and even a videographer live streaming everything for legal transparency. The squatters tried to deny everything until documents were shown, police were updated, and an eviction order was processed in record time. With every legal proof stacked against them, they packed their things in silence while the entire neighborhood watched in disbelief. But the bikers weren't done. Inside, the house was wrecked. Dirty floors, broken dishes, spray paint on the walls, a violation of everything Martha and Leonard built. When Bear saw the widow's shoulders shake at the doorway, he didn't let her take a step farther. He lifted his hand and barked one command to his brothers: fix everything. Hours passed, then sunlight shifted. The sound of hammers echoed. Walls were scrubbed clean. Broken tiles were replaced. The bathroom was repaired. Even the faded garden Leonard once loved was brought back to life, flowers replanted, grass trimmed, wooden benches sanded and polished. No one took $1. No one asked for thanks. They simply did what love and loyalty demanded. As Martha walked back inside that evening, her breath hitched. The family picture wall was restored with every frame hung straight. The kitchen smelled like fresh bread. Her needlework chair stood near the window exactly where it deserved to be. On the table lay a framed photo of her and Leonard, cleaned, repaired, polished, with a single message beneath it: he never left. Neither will we. She fell to her knees, crying again, but this time the tears were healing. Outside, the first neighbors who ignored her suffering now gathered in shame. The same people who whispered behind curtains now applauded as if they had been on her side all along. But the bikers weren't there for attention. They weren't there for praise. They came because kindness is a duty, not a performance. Before leaving, Bear placed a new set of reinforced locks on every door and handed Martha a phone with a direct number to the Iron Arrows, a number that would never go unanswered. He told her that family isn't always blood, sometimes it's the people who show up when no one else does. Martha hugged him with the strength of someone who had lost everything, and suddenly gained more than she ever expected. As the engines roared back to life and the bikes rolled away one by one, the street didn't see a gang. It saw protectors. It saw men willing to defend someone they barely knew simply because it was right. Glowing star, if this story touched your heart, please like the video, comment your feelings below, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to support more stories about real kindness in this world. Speech balloon special request. Comment, kindness always wins. If you believe good people still exist, let's fill the comment section with love and light. Because in a world full of chaos, sometimes the loudest heroes are the ones who speak through actions instead of words.